Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Kenshi, episode 27. So last we left off, we were trying to get the base up and ready for some farming, and that's going to be our main focus this episode as well. Right from the get-go, I think I'm going to send Rhadamant into town, or into a town, to go ahead and sell some of the iron that we've got. Additionally, I want to add in some additional beds because we are going to be getting hurt here trying to defend ourselves, and I think it only makes sense to have the bedding that we need and able to heal. All right, that looks good. Speed time up a little bit. We're definitely running out of food, so that's going to be next on the list of things we're going to have to get done. We have some characters going into recovery comas. Oh, good job, Pengu. Slicing them up, slicing them open. Trying our best to keep the base nice and tidy, clear of corpses, is tough. These corpses add up pretty quick. I'm going to set Dr. Chung onto creating electrical components, and Shrike here is going to plate beat. I want her to start working on armor smithing, cranking out better armor for us, possibly selling some. You never know. Molly here needs a weapon. One of the reasons I put it right next to the door is I can know armor and weapons I can see sort of through the building. I don't need to necessarily have line of sight on that, which is convenient. Well, Bard, you are already out of bed. You were just in a recovery coma moments ago. When you're aimless, go mine copper. Anyone I see that doesn't really have a job will get assigned one. Obviously, this is my armory crew, not my home crew, so most of everyone in the Raiden are going to be reassigned. I also wanted to mention that, yes, my outpost currently doesn't have a name. At the moment, I am polling the Patreon patrons if they have names that they're interested in, and if they do, they'll supply it to me, and then later this week, I'm going to have a vote, and you all will be able to vote on the name of my outpost based upon their input. So, if you're wondering why I haven't named anything yet, that would be the chief and really only reason. Checking in on Rhadamant. He's most of the way there. Getting a whole bunch of additional beds built. What we really need to do is get the scrawny cannibal corpses cleared up because they're attracting fogmen that want to abduct them for consumption. And that constant attacking that I'm suffering is as a result. Much how in the game wild animals will be attracted to food that you leave out. The same can be said for corpses with fogmen, I think. And it's pretty annoying. That sort of buzzing noise that you hear when I zoom in is the flies around the corpses. I had someone think that that was background noise that I was somehow causing. It's not. It's the game. Alright, Rhadamant's got to be here by now. Yep, just about is. Popper heads in. Sell some iron, buy some plates. And yeah, they don't really have any food that's worth buying, so I'm gonna push off, return the plates back to the outpost, and then head into Mongrel for food. Oh, Shrike is straight up unconscious. She should be set to passive. Alright, Wing Wing, you don't look like you got a job. It's copper mine. Beep, you don't have a job somehow? Weird. I really thought I would have given the hive a job, because they're cheaper to feed when they're working. It's also Beep, so you never know. Hobbs doesn't have a job either. Just trying to line my pocket with some copper for some spending money. And Rhadamant must be basically home because there's corpses everywhere. Alright, it is 3 in the morning. Let's head into Mongrel. All the plates that I just delivered they're going to help construct a bunch of stuff. The lights over here is particularly useful. Let's get Chung back on that. Some electrical torch posts. Speaking of which, I think I can sort of suss out where the other corner is here. And then so one of the ways to feed ourselves, of course, is to grind up this wheat and turn it into bread. But what I'm going to do instead is to replant it. So in the short run, that means I'm going to have to rely on more purchased food. In the long run, I'll actually be producing food. Oh, we stopped. Not a safe thing to do in the Fog Islands. And I'm definitely planning for the long run. I want to basically be able to fully subsist with the resources I have in base. As you can see, things are definitely getting done and working. In fact, we ought to be working on some of these skeleton repair beds, which will be great. How much water do we have? We don't even have any spare water. I hope to upgrade the well soon for that reason. Now, a lot of these objects, like the stone processor or the iron refinery, they all have upgraded versions of themselves that, generally speaking, cost some... Well, usually it's electricity. And the reason I don't have them upgraded is I don't have a lot of electricity generation in the base. And then on top of that, I also don't have a lot of iron plates to be able to afford it anyway. So if you're wondering why I don't have more, the improved versions of all the industry, that's pretty much the only sole reason. It's a lack of resources. So I'm here to buy as much food as I can so I can reinvest my wheat back into farming and make other extra large farms. Where we picked doesn't have a lack of air, water or soil, fertile soil, so we might as well take advantage of it as best we can and plant as much as we can. And Rhadamant's gonna go shopping as soon as these doors open. For some... Come on, pop this door open. Thank you. Let's do... Oh, they barely have any. Well, any is better than none. I'm also gonna buy the hemp. Because we didn't have a lot of hemp. And then I'm going to move... Oh, maybe it's not gonna fit. No, it's not gonna fit. Alright, I have about 2k left. What I'll do with this 2k is just fill my backpack up with whatever food they have. I guess I'll wait until 10 a.m. when the stores restock. Looking at our base, we'll definitely need some additional... Oh, you got locked up, too. Sometimes our corpse haulers sort of forget what they're doing. I'm going to set him to passive and hope that he just ignores all fights. Oh, we are getting some work done here. Not much. It is very, very slow, but some. So these iron plates, I'm hoping, goes towards the skeleton beds, so our skeletons can heal up. Because right now they are below max. Alright, Mr. Bard. You're definitely not really working anymore. Oh, he is encumbered with iron. That seems like a little bit of a problem. I don't think that's the sole reason why he was locked up and not doing anything, but one of them at least. Alright, now that we have the stores here should be restocked full of dried meat. They're not. Well, I guess it wasn't the timing I thought. Well, then... food cubes are probably the most bang for the buck, but I can only afford 2 of them. Wow. Oops. I don't know what I just did that for. You heading back. Come on, you're not aimless. You can path here. Rhadamant's having a little bit of trouble. I think if I put him outside first, it'll be a little bit easier. Nope. He is having some super issues. Alright, there we go. Sometimes they just don't path right. Oh, Griffin, doesn't look like you have a job. Have you mined one of these nodes when you're idle? The rest of these guys are all Shek. And Shek have it easy. When they're working manual labor stuff, they eat more than I want to feed them. So, oh yeah, looks like Bard is actually doing it now. Incinerating those corpses. One of the next things I'm going to need to do is... I have no idea why you're on a roof. Is to get these beds up and then add to my power grid. Because this one little Oh, Rhadamant is getting a beat on. Oh, really badly. While I was not paying attention. Are you speed? Oh, your run speed is low. Oh, you're also very, very close to everyone else. So, what direction is it? It's just up the hill. You wanted to fight with unfair numbers. That's exactly what you get. A fight with unfair numbers. Ooh, you really wanted to fight. Alright, let's take Rhadamant off the passive. How's it feel? The lovely part about this is all these bodies are pretty well outside our base, so they shouldn't attract any scavengers of sorts. I'm glad there was people nearby for Rhadamant to seek aid from. And once again, the Shek and Pengu have nowhere to be and nothing to do, so they idle in weird places. I think Chung is attempting to heal Rhadamant. For now, I'm actually going to manually add these iron plates so we actually get these built. Prioritizing them over everything else. A little bit R&R will... Actually, let's turn jobs on. Some of the dialogue. Alright. Plop this in. Also hemp. Did the rest of our hemp go into here? Nope. I think we just lost hemp. I'm fairly certain that is the case. Oh no, they're adding it to a farm. Okay, so we had a hemp farm in progress. I see. Alright, that's good. At least we're growing it now in our temporary farm. It's pretty much ideal. Have our robots get repaired. They're really tough buggers when it comes to taking a beating, which is great. Sadneil is probably almost certainly stuck underneath this... I don't know, he moved. I'll take it back. I think he is stuck. It's probably something I'm going to need to move in the future. How's this farm coming along? 26 out of 60. This one's being watered and planted. Same with this one. Actually, this one needs water. Once we start to build up a stockpile of iron plates, we can work towards improving some of the wells and whatnot. So you can see here, this farm barely got water in time. It did, but barely. Bard's doing a pretty good job cleaning up the place. We have a lot fewer corpses lying about than we did before, so good job, Bard. Getting the work on. Looks like all of the iron is basically going straight to plate production, which is very cool. And armor plate beating. It's pretty much what you'd want. And here is the way the base is illuminated at night. The searchlights here providing really nice light, I gotta say. I can also do spotlighting. As you can see, like Strike, for instance, still has one of those lanterns. I think Rhadamant has one as well. I can give this to green. Have green light this up. Everything will eventually be very, very well lit. I just don't exactly have the materials at the moment to do it. Doesn't mean it won't get done. And we're harvesting, Mew, rather, is harvesting. Her farming skill is 62. That's really high. She's harvesting that farm, and we're adding it to a new farm, which is awesome. And then we'll just keep expanding the farms more and more. Alright, new farm is done. I am going to have her operate these 2 farms, then the well, and then everything else. And this one's still ready to harvest. Let's put her over there. All right, so all this extra wheat is, let's see, I guess we'll store it for now until we put lights on the next farm. Rhadamant here needs an actual job. Well, I think my job is going to be to sell some copper again. Seems to be what I do. All right, sell the ores to the Hive Village, and then buy more food so that we can keep expanding the farm without having to use our wheat to do it. Actually, let's take you off of well duty. And put maybe Molly on well duty. God, there's so much hauling here. For now, actually, we're pretty good on hauling. So we're gonna have her operate the well full time. Everything that needs to be hauled somewhere has been hauled somewhere, which is why I've made that choice. Hamet, looks like you need a job. Put you on mining. Well, now that my building materials are slowly increasing, one of the things I could do is let's select everyone. Or actually, let's go one by one. And I'm going to tell... Actually, King... Here's what I want to do. I want to add a nice round table here. Yep. And then some sitting boxes. What I have in my preference is when characters are idle, they'll sit. So this will allow me to tell who has no tasks very easily. Plus, idle characters will be basically sitting over the wounded people that we have. So there's an advantage to that too. Now, what I wanted to do is to only leave my Shek on engineering. Take everyone off of engineering so they don't stop their jobs when there's something to build. And that way, they're not running around like crazy. And just have the Shek do it, because they're fine at it. Alright. So now when it's time to build stuff in the future, we won't have everyone basically drop what they're doing. Rhadamant definitely made it over to the Hive Village. Nice little trading partner. Here is some copper, and I will take your plates. I'll also take your fabrics and your hemp. And head on home. And then with the extra 3 grand I have, I will do another trading run up to Mongrel probably for even more food. Oh, Shrike. Yeah, I forgot some of the citizens also have engineering built in. Actually, just Shrike did. Shrike, time to go back to operating the machine. Alright, Rhadamant's back. We're actually getting some hemp storage, that's cool. And let's see if you can't path to Mongrel. Ahem, path to Mongrel. I'm always sort of on the lookout for princes. I don't find them all that often, but when I do, I will definitely take advantage of that. I'm gonna set her to passive. I want her farming. She's definitely not, let's see. This wheat farm is top priority than this one. Sitting boxes are slowly getting done. And here is a perfect example of idle pawns. Very easy to identify. Crumble was on the stone processor. And other people were as well, so he ended up with no job. And that's definitely not what we're looking for. Now I'm here mostly for food. Let me go to the closer bar first. Good day, customer. That'd be me. I am the customer. Wanted Dust King. Eventually. I am actually very eager to start doing the bounties, but alas, do need to get a working base first, or I'll get squished. But some of them are easy, quick dollar. We've already done some Hive King bounties. Or Hive Prince, whatever. What do I want from you? Nothing else. We'll actually have our cats not in the gutter for once. That's obviously not where Rhadamant is running. I'm just having him overrun it. Alright, are all the sitting boxes done? Green is so funny. Yeah, all the sitting boxes are done, so we'll very easily be able to identify idlers. The only ones that should be idle are the Shek. Now the joy here is their hunger rate will decrease because they're just sort of lounging, sitting around. So it's exactly what we want. Mew is still working. She's putting... Alright. This seems to be a little bit off-center, but that's okay. I'll make do. I'm going to pick you, Mr. Green. You are going to... No. Haul to wheat straw storage. Is this going to work? Maybe it won't. Ruka has a backpack. Let's give you Ruka's backpack. I'm just trying to make it so that Miyu can farm a little faster. By putting all of the wheat away. So we have 41 of it. Okay. You can go back to mining. I'm actually sort of excited that we're using up all of our iron. It means we're doing a pretty good job of resourcing it. And we actually have some positive plates now, too. Which is additionally very, very cool. Which also means that I won't have to do too much in the way of trade runs anymore for iron plates. We have... If we're starting to gain them, I think we're good. And some building materials. Okay, it's looking up. Definitely looking up. Man, the moment I buy food, it basically disappears. Alright, let's go ahead and plop down another wheat farm. Is the unalignment of this wheat farm going to drive me mad? Possibly, so I'm going to fix that. For all of you OCD people out there. I think 6 is probably plenty. And what I'll do is pause construction on all of them, except for 1, so that we're not putting all the wheat into one, or a little bit of wheat into all the farms, thereby growing nothing. We are going to put all the wheat into one farm, and that should help out. Oh, Mighty Canhead, hello. All right, everybody turn jobs off for a moment and have fun. Where are you, Canhead? I don't know. There's definitely some weapons on them, though. So I'm gonna have fun looting the dead. I'm also curious if there's a bounty on him. I don't... Oh, here's the war leader. He is traveling quickly. That's a joke, I think. Flesh cleavers. Well, they sell for a pretty penny, I guess. Sort of. They'll sell for something. Guess that is the currency of cannibals. Pretty sure Canhead's name should stand out. I'm sort of looking for him. Just another regular. Trying to get them to stack. Okay. Don't hit Pingu. Alright, Captain Cannibal, how'd that work? Well for you, right? You'd think I could find one with a can on their head. I played that fight out pretty quick, so I kind of lost track of him. Someone else with a Stubbs, you have a big backpack. Before I start melting their bodies down, I definitely want to loot them up. It looks like some Fogmen also want to get a piece of that action. I don't want you equipping this. Stubbs is not going to be all that fast at hauling it, so he'll just hang on to these blades for now. But all the little med packs are, I guess, useful. Oh, there's Canhead. I found you. The mighty Canhead. Not so mighty no more. Well, he's named. Probably makes for a good prisoner sparring partner, given his much higher stats than everyone else around him. So I'm going to patch him up, and let's go ahead and... What would it be? I forget where the prison stuff is. Should be an interior, right? Prisoner cage. Yeah, I was staring right at it probably this whole time. I'm going to put the gibbet right outside of my base because I'm metal. Alright, so everyone, you can put your jobs back on. Who else has big backpacks? Ruka, you do, right? No, we gave Ruka's up to someone else. I think Green does. Yes, Green does. Got caught steal. Oh, he's alive. You probably will have wished that I stole that blade from you, because you're dead now. Looks like Green actually is in dire need of a backup blade. I just noticed. Probably explains some of his injuries, me being stupid and all. Alright, Moon Cleaver. That sounds fun. Yep, that's kind of big. just looking. Some of their inventories are kind of full of random stuff. All right, what is our encumber? We're not all that encumbered. We're definitely not going to be running fast. But I'm going to hand Mr. Canhead off to Kang. Oh, Kang has a backpack. That will work perfectly. Go ahead and loot him. Take his big cleaver. And pick him up. Alright, Rhadamant, time to go run some errands. So Green has the backpack. Let's see if there's any other blades for us to squeeze in. I think we did a pretty good job. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. Oh, someone playing dead. Rhadamant's running right by. Actually, I'm curious what he's running by. Oh, more of these cannibals. These cannibals ran into Fogman, and that's why the raiding party that was supposed to show up and do a lot of damage to me didn't. I was expecting a little bit more out of them, but they got hung up. Fine by me. Well, everyone, I have gone over my half an hour. Gladly, happily, but I think this episode is coming to a close. So obviously the goals of this episode was to try to get farming expanded, and I think I did a pretty good job of that. We have 2 farms, well, 1.5 farms laid out, and we're definitely going to get some more. My next goals are going to be to try to add to our workforce so that the combat people can focus more on combat. If you have any questions, feedback, concerns, whatever, drop me a comment or hop on Discord. The link is at rhadamant.com. And thank you all for watching. Hope you tune in next time. Adios.